In a sane world, in you know, a world that you would think is relatively normal, the former director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation giving testimony in front of the United States Senate about his conduct during an apparent illegal investigation into the opponent of the President of the United States, that would be like headline news. It's not even enough to lead my show, but it is a big deal. James Comey standing in front of the Senate, giving an accounting of himself and his FBI for their conduct is a big deal. Thank Lord on high, we have people like Senator Ted Cruz who are willing to ask some hard questions.
This investigation of the president was corrupt. The FBI and the Department of Justice were politicized and weaponized. And in my opinion, there are only two possibilities: that you were deliberately corrupt or woefully incompetent. And I don't believe you were incompetent. This has done severe damage to the professionals and the honorable men and women at the FBI, because law enforcement should not be used as a political weapon. And that is the legacy you've left.
Whew. That made me uncomfortable. Maybe that's because I know Senator Cruz, but I felt like that was my dad telling me he's disappointed in me. I wasn't even standing there, and that made me uncomfortable. You know how hard it is to make me uncomfortable? I don't even have morals or a soul. But I don't want to make light of it. I don't, because we do need to keep in mind, and I know I've said this to you before, but it is important that you remember, there probably isn't anything more dangerous going on in America than a politicized federal law enforcement arm. You can argue all day long about the FBI doing this, or should we even have an FBI or something. We don't have to do that. Let's acknowledge this. We do have a federal law enforcement arm, the FBI. They do have the power to destroy your life, my life, like that. It's nothing for them. And so you do have a higher standard, or should have a higher standard, to work there, right? To stay employed there, right? Shouldn't you? And the reason you should have such a high standard is they have so much power. And if they're going to be turned into a political weapon by President Barack Obama and others in the past, should we have them? I asked. I said it. I'm not apologizing for it. Should we have an FBI? Should Donald Trump break the FBI into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds, in the words of JFK, even though he was talking about the CIA? I'm asking. Because it's hard to explain how big of a deal it is if the Federal Bureau of Investigation is going to become the enforcement arm of the Democratic Party. That goes way beyond even having the media in your pocket. You can't do what was done. You can't take a bad source who you know is a bad source, bringing you bad information and you know it's bad information. You can't take that information, go to the FISA court and get a warrant to spy on the opponent of the President of the United States. You don't have the freedom to make that oopsie. Sorry. You don't have the freedom to say what James Comey tried to say here. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.